This is Joy Roland, and you are listening to the Empowered Wealthy Women podcast. This is episode number 38. We know we have to teach ourselves what's possible. Welcome to Empowered Wealthy Women, a podcast for ambitious women who want to build wealth. You'll learn how to finally fix your relationship with money, increase your net worth, and make more money. Ladies, it's time to create a life of abundance, wealth, empowerment, and joy. Ready? Let's go! Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 38 of the Empowered Wealthy Women podcast. We know we have to teach ourselves what's possible. I hope all is well with you and your family. I hope your business is doing well, your work is doing well. Here in Canada, it's Family Day, and we get to have a holiday and spend time with family. All of the grocery stores are closed. Everything almost comes to a standstill for us to value the impact of family. So today is an exciting day for me. Also, my week has gone very, very well. I'm taking massive action in my business and I'm beginning to see results. And it's just also very exciting. Also, someone had seen my post on social media. She reached out and we just connected and we formed like an accountability partnership. She's also a coach, she's a confidence coach. And coincidentally, we were born the same month, we are the same age. Like, it's just kind of very surreal. Um, yeah, so I'm very excited about that. To have an accountability partner, I think, is incredibly valuable when you are setting up a business. Okay, so today, the topic of this podcast is we know we have to teach ourselves what's possible. If this is your first episode, welcome. I'm so excited you're here. Um, so today's topic is following on from episode number 37. So if you haven't listened to that, I encourage you to go listen to that because it will give you a good background information on today's topic. So last week, we talked about the 12 things empowered wealthy women know. 12 things, yes. And so, as an empowered wealthy woman, I want you to know these 12 things yourself so you can skyrocket your income and you can build the wealth you deserve. You can build the wealth you want. And in that episode, I give you a background as to how I came up with this 12 things. My coach, Brooke Castillo, has what she calls the possibility formula. And in that formula, she gives us 10 things that wealthy women know. So what I've done is I've adapted it. Actually added two of my own because I felt some parts were missing. So in this podcast, I want to give you the tools I have that has helped me to create the abundant life I have because my goal is for you to be able to create an abundant life for you and your family too because I know what it means to be empowered and the value in building wealth as a woman because when a woman is empowered she has the courage, she has the audacity to leave an abusive relationship without fearing that she would suffer financially. Another thing is an empowered wealthy woman can leave a job where she isn't fulfilled, where she has a nasty boss. She's able to quit that job and move on to something else without fearing any financial repercussion. And like I've said on this podcast many times, we live in a world where money is power. Yes, whether you like it or not, money is power. And when you have money, you have power. And I want you to be empowered to make decisions for yourself, for your children, and for your family. So, the 12 things we have gone through are one, we know we have to teach ourselves what's possible. Two, we know the difference between success, happiness, and being a good person. Three, we know that creating value is what creates money, and we know how to create value. Number four, we know that extraordinary success includes lots and lots of money. Five, we know that life is 50-50. 6, we know failure is the price of success. 7, we know we don't get the how until we are there. 8, we know it's not better there than here. 9, we know we are already 100% worthy. We are not trying to make money to prove our worth. We are already worthy. 10, we know it's hard and we can do hard things. 11, we prioritize self care because we know it's very important. 12, we know we deserve love and we are empowered to only be in loving relationships. Abuse isn't tolerated. So that's a rundown of all of the 12 things we believe here on this podcast because we are empowered, wealthy women. Now, I like to address you by what I know you can be. So when I call you an empowered wealthy woman, I want you to embody that identity because that's the first step. So when you hear me say that, I don't want you to exclude yourself. I don't want you to say, well, I'm not wealthy yet. I'm not empowered yet. So I'm not one of the women Joy is talking about. No, I don't want you to exclude yourself. Begin to embody that identity. Begin to, like my coach would say, there has to be an identity crisis. Yes. When you're beginning to become someone you've never been, there is going to be an identity crisis. And that's okay. We can solve for that and we can remain in that space until we become the woman we want to be. So, yes, you listening to me right now, you are an empowered, wealthy woman. So, today, I want us to talk in a bit more detail on number one, which is we know we have to teach ourselves what's possible. Now, why is this very important? Well, when you look into the world, especially when children are in college or about to go into college, let's say high school, you go with your parents or even by yourself to the counselor's office to kind of evaluate what's available for you out there in the world. Usually, the counselor would list a number of professions, maybe a doctor, lawyer, accountant, teacher, and they'll list all of those and say, well, which do you want to be when you grow up? And then if the student says, oh, I want to be a lawyer, then the counselor will say, okay, this is how much a lawyer makes, right? That's how the conversation typically goes. And they want you to choose a profession based on what you want and what you like. Now, the problem with that is that that conversation limits you based on what's available in the world. So when the counselor comes up with a figure, let's say she says, oh, you can earn $150,000. When she comes up with that dollar amount, she's coming up with that dollar amount based on the evidence she has in the world. Okay? Which is how all counselors do it. Now, what if we flipped this over on its head and we say, instead of asking you to choose from various professions, the first question your counselor asks you in high school is, how much do you want to make? That would be very good, wouldn't it? And if the student says, well, I want to make $1 million. Well, by the way, this is a question that people would think is very strange, right? Because we don't tend to place emphasis on what we want. Like, when was the last time you asked yourself, what do you truly want in this life? Right? We only look at what's available in the world and we unconsciously or consciously put a limit to what we can achieve in the world. We put a ceiling on our earning potential. So, what if you started with how much do you want to make? So, if the student says, let's go with $5 million. The student says, well, I want to make $5 million every year. Okay. And then the counselor will be, okay, you need to think of a value you can create in the world, contribution you can add to the world so that you get paid $5 million. Right. So this is the reason why the first step as empowered wealthy women, we know that we have to teach ourselves what's possible. We cannot go to the world because the world has no idea what's possible for us. And if you ask the world what's possible for you, the world is going to give you exactly what it has evidence for, which is a doctor earns, let's say, $250,000, a teacher earns $90,000. So the world will tell you the limit to what you can earn based on your profession. So it's almost useless to ask the world what's possible for you. Also, you shouldn't go into the past to find evidence of what's possible for you. So maybe you're a 40-year-old woman and you're thinking, well, if I look into my past, I've only earned $150,000 in my career. And then you begin to place limits on what you can achieve. Okay, so one thing you must avoid doing is looking into the past for evidence of what's possible for you. Now, how do you determine what's possible for you? You have to look inwards. The answer lies inside your mind, inside your brain. Okay? So, do not put a limit on yourself. Expand your vision of what's possible and decide what you truly want. You don't have to be conservative. You don't have to go low because of what's available in the world. I want you to dream wildly and say, what do I truly deserve? What do I truly want? Okay? So that's the first step. We know we have to teach ourselves what's possible. And you have to come up with a figure. So I've said many times that this podcast, we talk about success in terms of money, in terms of wealth. Now, that is not to say it isn't possible for someone to call themselves successful without being wealthy. If you go to churches or religious organizations, there are people who call themselves successful that it doesn't have any bearing on wealth. Maybe in your marriage, in your relationship, you can call yourself successful in your marriage if you have an amazing marriage. You can call yourself a successful mom if you have an amazing mother-child relationship. So I'm giving you all these examples so you can see that success has different definitions for different people. For the purpose of this podcast, I have chosen to define success in terms of monetary value. And who defines what success is? You get to decide what success is because my number for success will be completely different from your number for success, and it continues to evolve. So, as I've said many times on this podcast, my current goal is to get to $1 million in 12 months. So, in 1 year, my goal is to have $1 million in my bank account. So, that goal will evolve. So, when I get to that goal, I'm going to raise it to 5 million and then to 10 million and up and up and up because I choose to. Okay. There's no pressure. I'm not struggling for money. I just want to because it gives me joy. It helps me evolve as a human being. So I want you to pick a number for yourself. So for some other person, $200,000 is success for them. Okay. You just pick a figure and you define what that success number is so that when you get to that number, you know you've created success. And there is no right or wrong answer as long as you're being very honest with yourself. So I don't want you to choose $80,000 and lie to yourself that you're happy with $80,000 if deep inside of you, you are not. Okay? So you need to pick a figure that you want to make. Decide the amount, write it down on your phone, save it as your screensaver on your laptop and on your mobile phone as your goal. Because we have to teach ourselves what's possible. I'm so excited because I know that if you do this work, you'll definitely see your wealth transform. You'll definitely become an empowered, wealthy woman. So here is your homework. I want you to, in your quiet time, I want you to choose a number. And to choose that number, the question you ask your brain is this: what do I want? What do I really, really want? So, journal, come up with your number, and I would love to know what your number is. You can drop me a DM or you can send me an email. It's joy@joyroland.com. I've told you mine many times and I love talking about it. Now, don't keep your number to yourself. I'll tell you why. This is a secret of the universe. When you say something out loud, you kind of spark the creation process. That's the first step. You have to put it out there in the universe. So this is the picture I have in my brain. When I say my number, my guardian angels begin to work in my favor. I know you might say that's fantasy, but it's fantasy that has worked for me for so many, many, many years. So when you say something out, so maybe you say to a friend, a colleague, and you say, "This is my goal," it begins to trigger the creation process. And remember, we don't have to figure out the how. That is point number 7 in our 12 steps. We know we don't know the how until we get there. Okay, so I don't want you to allow your brain to spin and say, "Oh, how am I going to make $1 million?" No, that's not what we're doing here for now. All we do right now is pick a number, and I want you to share that number with a friend to begin to spark the creation process. So excited for you. I'm so excited for this journey. It's so much fun. Like I've said many times on this podcast, having a money goal is the best personal development you can do. Why? Because when you set a money goal, all of your obstacles will come up, all of your objections. Your brain is going to start spinning. Now, to create success, we have to solve for all of those obstacles. Each of them, we solve for them. And that brings us closer and closer to our goal, our $1 million goal. Okay, that's all I have for you today. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day or night, depending on what time of day it is for you. I'll see you again on the next episode. Bye for now. Hey, very quickly before you go, if you are ready to finally fix your relationship with money, increase your net worth, and make more money, then I invite you to my one-on-one private coaching program. This is where you learn how to take control of your money and build wealth. To get started, book a free intro call with me. The link is in the show notes. I'll see you there. Bye-bye.